What's up, guys? Today I'm joined by Hannah Gardner, fellow YouTuber, by the way. I'll have a link to her channel in the description. She is killing it on Etsy. She did almost $1 million in sales in her first year. Hannah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here.
So I'm dying to learn more. Like, I know you have a video on it, honestly, because the YouTube algorithm, by the way, they were loving your video. They put it out in front of me and I already watched it, but I want to learn more about your story. Like, how the heck did you you put me to shame? Like, I was on Etsy for a couple years and I just recently got back on, but like, how did you do so well on Etsy?
Yeah, so like most of us, many failed businesses before, I found this little gem sliver of e-commerce, Etsy.com. I actually, launched with trying to do bathing suits when I first started, and learned how to sew, hired a girl on Indeed to sew for me. Totally didn't fail per se, but just realized it was way too hard to grow a business like that at scale. So I entered, fast fashion accessories, and obviously with accessories, it's a lot smaller items, a lot less quality control, a lot less just headache that comes with bathing suits. And we scaled pretty quickly. We launched with about 200 listings, and was able to grow that to over 600 SKUs within that first year. And we found a niche and a category that was really specific, and just were able to do the proper product research and get in really early on when not a lot of people were selling what we were selling. Not a lot of people were running paid Etsy traffic, because at the time Etsy paid traffic wasn't really a thing. So we really ranked to the top first, with these other attributes of the business that we were doing and putting in at the time. And we were able to do close to $1 million, not over $1 million, but close to $1 million that first year. And
So can I ask, like, you launched in 2019. Did you go through the same change in like Etsy ads that everybody else did, or did you launch after that? Because we used to be able to like set our bids, and then one day overnight we couldn't anymore, and I got hit by with huge bills because I had a really high daily budget but low bids. Did you deal with that?
No, I don't think I was there at the time where you could set your bids. We never had to. No, you basically just, they had made an update and you just set a budget.
Yeah.
But with that being said, like, you didn't want the ads to just run on every listing if you're wasting like impression space. So like if you didn't have keyword product fit keywords and you're getting a bunch of impressions and clicks for those keywords, you wanted to take them out of your listing. So more of that component, but it's still like, it was very easy because I was coming from like Facebook and like Google ads and agency world for like media buying. And then I found Etsy and I'm like, oh my God, this is like e-commerce for dummies. What have I been doing this whole time? So, but yeah, no, I must have missed that part, but we did.
It's probably not a bad thing, because I was like spoiled when I was getting like all this great visibility. It didn't cost me hardly anything. It was some manual work to set them up, but and then one day it was just over, and I was getting like billed so much money because I didn't initially look, and I didn't realize how bad it was, because once they removed the caps on bids, they would spend my daily budget like every day.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah. So it
Okay,
just kind
I
of it
don't
pissed me
know.
off.
Wait, yeah, I don't know, because maybe that was way before this. So 2019, was this in 2019 or before? Like, how much?
I think it happened in 2019, and then ultimately in 2019 also, like, I got kicked off for being on the receiving end of like too many infringement reports. I mean, honestly, most of them weren't like me actually infringing. It was just people that didn't like that I was selling similar products, because you get a lot of that in I do print on demand, so like low barrier of entry. If we see a niche that's selling well, it's so easy to create like a similar design to what's popular, and a lot of that going on. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't
um
know. When we entered, it was just, I was like, it was just easy. You just gave them money and then they just did it for you.
So,
And then
you
you were just,
mentioned, I guess I don't want to know your exact products. I know a lot of people don't like to share that publicly, so it's all good. But like, who fulfilled your orders, I guess? Like, you said you hired somebody to assist you with producing the products. So I'm assuming you were doing self-fulfillment for a while, and then what did you transition to help you scale?
oh yeah, oh my gosh. So when I first started, I had no SKU system. I didn't know what SKUs were. I didn't know organization. Yeah, so it's not like POD where it's like you're kind of like a third party, whatever, someone fulfills the order for you. I was
Right.
holding all of my inventory. And in the beginning, when you have 20 SKUs or whatever, you know, it's manageable, but I just like kept launching and launching. It was kind of like, you want more money, just launch more stuff. And so operationally, I am not an operations person. So I did end up hiring, you know, people that do fulfillment for me, organize, re-SKU everything. You know, imagine like having an entire store with 600 SKUs. Some things you bundle, some things you don't bundle, and having no way to track your inventory.
Yeah.
It was a disaster. It took us about a month to fix this problem.
So you still do it that way yourself?
We have SKUs, but yeah, we still fulfill all of our own orders.
Whoa.
But this was like in the beginning because that was just me. I didn't have employees. I didn't have any help. And I was also running this whole show out of my grandma's like spare bedroom, like in her house. So it was like, you know, I'm doing $100,000 months by myself, like no help, nobody doing fulfillment for me. Like I'm doing customer service, doing marketing, doing new product launches, fulfillment, not even inventory because I didn't take inventory, but just like everything by myself. And honestly, looking back, that was a huge mistake because I probably could have like tripled my numbers if I actually had people helping me, you know, with everything that we were doing. But I just, you know, you don't know what you don't know. So.
Exactly. I was about to say, we don't know what we don't know, but we know we don't know what we don't know. So it's kind of like a weird brain twister where and I always wonder, like, how should I be spending my time? You know?
And I didn't even know what I had when I had it. I was like, oh, okay, this must be normal. Like, you know, just doing 100 grand, 120 grand of fulfillment by myself. Like, I guess this is just like kind of the norm. No, it's not normal.
Yeah.
And I should have milked it. You know, when I was having no competition, basically at the time, I should have milked it for a lot longer than I did. But, you know, whatever, we all learn.
So what are your thoughts on like Etsy moving forward? I'm not going to lie. Like I thought Etsy, in my mind, I had it like kind of boxed into being like handmade products. And then they opened the door to print on demand. And I was like, okay, handmade plus print on demand. But now I'm seeing so many different businesses launched on Etsy. So what are your thoughts on the future of Etsy?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to do a lot of things to prevent like the Chinese sellers, but I mean, you can go on Etsy and, you know, search party supplies and, you know, people are pulling that straight from Alibaba. It's going straight from China. We don't do that. You know, we design and then manufacture our design. So now like their parameters are like, you can be a designer with production partners, which that wasn't even an option to like input production partners when I first started. But, you know, I think the future of Etsy is, you want to be some part involved in the design, but handmade is such a like it's really hard to define, right? Like it's so hard to define because, you know, there's people that will buy, you know, like tapestries from China and then like rip them up and like tie knots in the corner and make them like have a design on it, right? But they didn't make the tapestry, right? Same thing with people, or just like sewing bathing suits, right? You didn't make the material, you're putting it together. So it's like, what really defines something as handmade or custom designed, or people that are even doing POD that are hiring designers? They're not designing it. So wait, because they're not designing it and they own the store. Like it's such a great area. Sure. And I would just say anybody that like is wanting to get in, like just proceed with caution, because that's just like the name of the game of like selling on a third-party platform, especially when people at the top don't even understand their own rules. Like if you call into Etsy, like they can't even clearly tell you what it is, you know? So that means it's kind of like, you can maybe get away with more, but at the same time, if they want to totally screw you over and like delete your account because they weren't it was kind of like they were unclear and they have gray areas in their business. Yeah, like that sucks, but they can do that because Etsy is a big fish and you're just a little fish and they don't really care about you. So that's just like the name of the game, you know, proceed with caution, I guess.
I can't believe it's 2022 and like we're still seeing the same thing with Etsy. I think people that are new to it don't like fully get that. Yeah, like Etsy will delete you from their platform. I've had calls with multiple, I mean two, but like top 100, I think 100, maybe it was like 150 Etsy sellers, but like more than one that were like reaching out to me like, hey, help me expand off of Etsy because I've just had this cash cow, but now, you know, one thing went wrong and the automated system is probably going to delete me. So it's crazy. Like, you talked about your ups and downs and maybe more of the downs of being on Etsy and being a big fish.
Wait, I'm sorry, you just broke up. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. Like, you know, you were one of the bigger, more successful sellers on Etsy. So can you share some of like the downsides of like that you experienced on Etsy?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have new competition. As soon as you start doing well, people are going to rip your designs. Like we had one viral design, and you know, we literally had someone take our mold, and now we like have a competitor in China selling the same thing on Amazon, and like, you know, stealing our images, stealing our, you know, copywriting, all that stuff. And you know, that stuff is kind of inevitable. Like, even if you're not even on, if you're on Amazon, if you're on your own website, people do that stuff. So that's one of the downsides. Again, going back to like, we're just, yeah, maybe we have one of the top, or like the top 5 percentile stores on Etsy, but and still, you know, in Etsy's mind, we're still like, I'm still a small fish, you know. Even we dealt with the suspensions, and it resulted in us in pretty much losing 6 months of sales volume. So last year we only ended up doing, you know, $424,000 because we were only open for 6 months because Etsy completely destroyed our account with like a whole suspension. I'm putting out a whole video on this actually, and there's actually a lot of value in it, and you know what mistakes were made, but actually how it was really unfair because we did end up getting our account. They did end up saying that it was their fault, but at the end of the day, we still lost, you know, all of our positions. But on the first side of that, and it made us turn to Shopify, and then, you know, do $500,000 last year on Shopify. So still,
yeah, that's good. So you expanded off
good.
of Etsy. Sorry, you're lagging a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, we did end up because during that time, you know, I always had my Shopify store, and I always knew how to do Facebook ads and Instagram ads and stuff like that. I didn't really heavily rely on it because I didn't have to, because our Etsy store was just being so successful. And also the margins were a lot higher at the time on Etsy. So, you know, personally, when you're running Facebook ads, Google ads, you know, it's like watching the stock market. It takes up all your day. You can get obsessed with it. It's like gambling, almost like educated gambling. So, you know, but it forced us to do that. It forced me to get more confident in my ability, and, you know, spending $2,000 a day on, you know, Facebook, whereas like before I didn't even have to do that. You just put money on, you know, Etsy ads and forget about the listing, and you know, it's like an ATM. There's a lot more manual labor that comes to running a website, but there's a huge value in owning your own data and, you know, owning a website. And it's also, if you ever do want to actually go sell your company, it's a lot more valuable to have traffic coming to your website than a third-party platform like Etsy specifically. I can't really speak for any of the others. So
what about Amazon? Like, it doesn't surprise me that somebody basically cloned your business, like copy pasted it to Amazon. Like, are you going to jump on Seller Central and carve out some real estate on the world's largest e-commerce marketplace at any point in time? Is that in the plan?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely explored it. Amazon is a whole different monster. I would even say, like, if Etsy is like freshman year e-commerce, and then, you know, Shopify is like sophomore year, I would say like Amazon is like freaking master's program. It's so the learning curve is, I mean, I guess on Shopify it's pretty difficult as well, but on Amazon, you know, the issues that you deal with, from just experience of, you know, actually attempting at an Amazon store and just being in groups and networking and seeing what other problems other people deal with, it's definitely a different monster. It's a different game. It's a different psychology of strategy of like how to make money on Amazon. So personally at this time, probably not going to jump into that wagon, but you know, if we end up becoming a household name or something, then yeah, and people are already organically searching us. But to where we're at now, you know, to go on launch on Amazon, it just wouldn't really be worth our time. Plus your margins are even probably less than you know, your Shopify. So
yeah, that's always it's like, I always think of it too, like a lot of people start their searches on Google. So let's say they just search your name, and you know, I like the idea of, we know if we create that Amazon listing, like it's going to get indexed by Google, but you know, if it ranks #1, well, then they'll probably get the organic click, and you're going to be paying Amazon, you know, probably 17, 18, whatever percent.
yeah.
And it's brutal. So
yeah, and like, you know, Etsy, at least I think somewhat still care about you. Amazon does not give nothing. They don't care about you at all. So
well, your story though with Etsy and getting your account, like I didn't even know suspensions were a thing. When I lost mine, like I tried, and I had so many people, because I had the YouTube channel, trying to help me. I had a bunch of people reach out like, yo, try this, try this, try this, try this. Like even hitting up people that work at Etsy. Like I got to that point.
Yeah, we
And
did that.
nothing got me back. And it's like, you would think, oh, Ryan must have really messed up. No, it wasn't even like that. Like I wrote down every infringement, you know, with air quotes that I have. I still have it written down, and like, but no one will hear me. And so I'm interested in seeing your video when it drops, guys. Don't forget, I have a link to Hannah's channel at the top of the description. Check that out. You're growing really fast, by the way. I was spying on your metrics. You're almost at 20,000 subscribers.
Oh my goodness,
Congrats.
I'm trying. Yeah, I've abandoned it for so long because I've been so busy, you know, obviously with my brands, because I have more than one brand that I'm also running. So it's like, but now I'm like really trying to transition more onto YouTube and helping, you know, with helping people and, you know, providing the most value as possible on how to build business online. If
Yeah,
you,
that's awesome. And I'm sure your message is going to resonate with a lot of people. So beyond just your YouTube, like where else can they find you? Like I knew you were talking about working on a different project. Do you want to plug that real quick?
Yeah, so I am actually coming up with, I've named it the Bosscom store. So I'm gonna have a storefront with all of my courses. It's basically gonna be comprised of like a master case study where there is a full breakdown case study of my store, and that one unlocks all of my future mini courses that are basically gonna teach you every single thing that we've done. You'll see the inside of, you know, a 7-figure e-commerce business that's, you know, Etsy and Shopify based, as well as, you know, all the mini courses that are just like, you know, how to do operations, how to build a SKU system, how to, every single thing that you need to know basically to run a business. And it's called the Bosscom store. And right now we are just taking like almost kind of like a pre-sign up for the beta alert version that launches. We're really going to try to perfect it over time. So we're not just like launching this course and be like, this is the best course, because it's like not the case. So we're taking, you know, pre-signups essentially for that beta version that launches. And then, you know, if you are on that list of, you know, getting notified for that beta, you are going to get 40% off for that master case study that unlocks everything in the future. And that includes any course or any update or any program that gets launched like later down the road, you'll have access to. So
Yeah, I do something really similar. And like, yeah, it's funny. Like, I don't know what to call them because like when I launched my core component courses, I did them all as like under one hood, and each module really could have just been its own kind of separate, you know, like you're saying, mini course, you know, because some people might just want the Amazon advertising module. So I got smart, you know, a couple years later, and I was like, okay, that's going to be available separate, you know, because some people just want to know how to advertise on Amazon. So I like how you're doing it, and I'll link to your masterclass case study. I mean, seriously, 7-figure case study from like a recent, you know, that's still successful on Etsy. So that's like super exciting. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think case study, like going through not just like the how-tos, but actually seeing a real life example is super valuable. Like, you know, you're probably the same. I mean, I've paid thousands of dollars for mentorships and courses, some good courses, some like super shitty courses, like, you know, but, you know, there's something to be said about, you know, getting access to that information for your own business. That is just, it just speeds up the process. Like, and it's all in one place. You don't have to go searching the internet for all your questions, because all your questions are essentially going to be answered. And obviously there's community and like customer support if you have any other questions. So it just speeds up the process for you for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when I got started, I paid somebody 2,500 to do like a weekly one-on-one with me for Amazon FBA, you know, and it's like I've sold, you know, well over $1 million on FBA. So it's like easy decision looking back. But when you're starting and you're just instantly 2,500 in the hole, it sucks.
Yeah,
so,
it definitely sucks.
You just gotta bet on yourself though, right? And look what it led to. So
for sure.
Cool. All right. Anything else you would like to, any other like wisdom you want to drop on us while you're here? What's your favorite, like, how about this? What was the last thing you bought on Etsy? Random question. Anything fun?
Probably like packaging supplies for my products. I do buy some stuff for, some like stickers or packaging supplies probably.
Cool. Any other like nuggets of like knowledge you want to drop before we head out?
I would say that if you're on the edge or on the wall of like trying to figure out what to do with your life, and you actually, I just put a TikTok. Let me reframe that. I just put out this TikTok. it was like how to use jealousy as a means of inspiration and motivation to start your business. So something that was really early on for me is like I would watch all these people crushing it, and I would low key get salty, like get super jealous. And instead of just like sitting there festering, if you do experience that, if you're somebody that experiences that, what I learned to do from one of my mentors is you use that as like a KPI or like an indicator that means that you actually, the reason you're getting jealous is because you feel like you lack or you deserve that thing that you currently don't have. And so instead of just sitting there getting like pissed off and, hating on this person, take a step back, realize what you're doing is the first thing. You have to realize that you're doing it, followed by understanding that the reason why that's happening is because somewhere in your gut or somewhere in your being thinks that you can actually do that thing. And not only can you probably do that thing, but you probably can do it better. And so listen to your gut and actually take action on that, and you move forward and, go do the thing that you want to do. So I guess that would be my one drop of wisdom.
Yeah, that's great. That's seriously like great advice. And it's crazy how many times you have to hear it sometimes, but like for sure, it's so easy to watch YouTube videos all day and like see people that are successful, but ultimately you got to just grind, you got to grind and taking action, whatever it is that you use for motivation. If it's that jealousy, like you said, like I definitely had some of that envy that fueled me initially. So whatever it takes.
Like use that energy, because if not, you're just wasting it and waiting on making yourself feel bad. Might as well use it in a positive way.
Yeah, if you got the fire inside you, definitely like just go for it, whatever it is. Hannah, thank you so much for being here, guys. Her link to her YouTube and the case study are in the description. Thank you for being here, though.
All right, thanks.